this is the bike that Chris Froome is using over the Tour de France mountains as he tries to win the race for a third time. Now, it's a Pinarello, it's a dogma, it's an F8, but it's slightly different because this is a special edition X-Lite version. Now, Pinarello have managed to shave some weight off this particular frame versus the standard F8 model. 80 grams to be precise for a 54 centimetre frame, although Chris here is riding the standard for him, which is 56 centimetres. What that means is they've taken it down from 860 grams to just 780. That weight saving though does seem to have made some compromises, and I say that because Pinarello states in their literature there's a rider weight limit if you want to ride this bike. And it's not very much, 154 pounds or 70 kilograms. It essentially means I'm not allowed to ride this bike. And as I said, it is limited edition. Only 200 of these are going to be made and sold to the general public. So if you're light, you might also want to be quick. You want to get your hands on one of these. Team Sky is a fully Shimano sponsored team, so it's no surprise to see their componentry throughout. So we have the Shimano Dura-Ace Di2 shifters up there at the front, we've got the brake calipers as well, we have the rear and front derailleurs here, the cassette, which at the moment is an 11 up through to 28, the wheels, which we'll come on to a little bit later, and the cranks, but not the chain set, because it deviates on Froome's bike here at the chainrings. Now, these are the very recognisable Osymmetric chainrings, and he's the only rider from the team who is using these, and that may well be down to him being the only one that's able to break sponsor commitments. But they obviously work for him. He's used these for the last few years for both of his Tour de France victories, and he's running them in a size 52 on the big one and 38 on the inner one. Now, the cranks themselves are 175 millimeters in length, and he's also got the Dura-Ace pedals, the carbon ones, although these do look slightly different than normal ones to me. Now, the wheels currently on the bike as we film this are the Dura-Ace C50, so reasonably deep, and he can go lighter and shallower than this if he wishes in the higher mountains. On them are some Continental Competition Pro Limited tubular tyres, both front and rear are 25 millimeters, and the Pro brand, which is a division of Shimano, provide that stem and handlebar combination. That is the Stealth Evo, which is, I understand, very light as well. Now, it's running 120 millimeters in length for the stem, and it's marked as 400 millimeters or 40 centimeters width for the handlebars, although having measured them myself, they do seem slightly less than that if measuring center to center. There are a couple of little intricate details on this bike which I really like, and the first of those is this custom looking, probably 3D printed number mount here at the rear, and the same goes for the Garmin mount, which is up there at the front. And Froome's also running some quite small looking satellite shifters enabling to shift gears here at the rear when he's heading up the mountains. Now, in terms of the rest of the bike, we'll have at the top here, Physique are one of the main sponsors of Team Sky, and he chooses to use the Antares saddle with the full carbon rails. Elite provide the bottle cages in the form of their Leggero, which are very light indeed, I understand, and actually a lot has gone into making this bike as light as it possibly can be, so I'll be interested in a few moments to find out exactly what the weight is. First though, a few of the measurements which I took earlier on. Now, his saddle height from the centre of the cranks to where he sits is just a little bit under 80 centimetres. From the tip of the saddle at the front to the centre of the bars is 56 centimetres, but measured to where he sits on the saddle, it's more like a reach of 76 centimetres. I guess now it's the moment of truth. How much does this bike weigh? Oh, is that 6.81? That is light, that is cutting it fine, Mr. Froome. But I am impressed. Pinarello have done a good job getting this bike down as light as it possibly can be under UCI regulations. Now, if you would like to see our complete pro bike playlist, you can find that just up in the corner there. On the other hand, if you would like to see our complete Tour de France playlist, that is in the lower corner. And subscribe, click on the rather lovely rhinoceros. Actually, you can't do that anymore. It'll be the globe. But I do like the rhinoceros. Or rhino.